Hey everybody, Anthony here with Ace's Adventures, and welcome to another Dead Mall episode. This time we are down in Maryland at the Lakeforest Mall in Gaithersburg, Maryland. Before we get into the history of this property, this is yet another location that I have been to previously in 2016 and in 2017, but at the time, this mall was not doing too bad. It had its struggles financially and whatnot, and had changed ownership, as you're going to hear about in just a second, but it was one of those places, as a handful of them were, that were not quite dead enough yet to pass the threshold of what I would considering being dead, or if not dead, dying, struggling. All of the dead mall term kind of encompasses a couple different levels of deadness or struggles, or whatever you want to call it, is making it meet its gradual demise. So let's dive into the history of this property here. So the Lakeforest Mall actually opened on September 12th, 1978, and the original anchors were J.C. Penney, Sears, and Woodward and Lothrop and Hex. So it had 4 original anchors, and the mall was actually one of the first in the country to feature an indoor ice rink. And if you look up on the history of Gaithersburg, the ice rink that was there up until the 80s was a big hit with the community. I don't know the exact reason why they took the ice rink out. It seemed to be very popular. So if you are a local, and let's have a discussion down below in the comments as to why the ice rink eventually was closed, which was replaced by a movie theater subsequently. And then after the movie theater was gone, it ended up being a food court in the what they call the H section of the mall. So the anchors, as per usual, would play a large role in the gradual demise of the mall. The first to leave was Woodward and Lothrop, but it was fortunately at the time replaced by a Lord and Taylor. The mall actually faced opposition at first when it was built on natural lands, and nearby Lake Walker apparently would become a sacrifice for this retail palace. And people in the town were even passing around Save Lake Walker bumper stickers. It was an area where kids rode dirt bikes and stuff, and it's funny how back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, these woodlands and just natural wetlands have eventually become retail palaces, and then in some cases we're going to see these malls eventually close again and maybe be torn down and maybe be returned to nature. So the circle of a life is full circle in some cases. So, not everybody did oppose the mall, though, as it actually would be a shorter ride for locals than shuttling down to Bethesda and the Montgomery Mall, and the most northerly mall at the time, which I believe geographically would have been the Fredericktown Mall. But again, if I'm wrong and you're local, please correct me on my geography. So, some more notable information about the mall. It's actually just over 1 million square feet and is a two-level mall. And let's be honest, as you can tell, if you know anything about malls already, you can tell this is a Taubman masterpiece. A lot of the malls, Tuttle Crossing and just all the other Taubmans throughout the country share some very similar characteristics, and we're just these amazing places that it's really sad to see them fall by the wayside. It truly, truly is a frozen piece of time that I'm very grateful that I'm getting to document. So the mall did pretty well through the 80s and 90s, and then in 2007, Simon bought the property, but then defaulted on the mortgage in 2011 and was put up for sale. And then 2012 saw the mall bring in $14 million in net income, but by then the new owners, 5 Mile Capital, were making long-term plans to convert the mall. So as we trend downward here, the mall sat in stasis, even though there were conversion plans as early as 2012, 2013. The mall sat idle in its current state and gradual decline until 2017, and then it was sold for a meagerly $19.1 million, which was an $80 million drop from its 2012 price. So you see a theme here, guys. 5 Mile Capital actually went into foreclosure, and the mall's spirals continued. And then, my friends, in 2019, the mall was probably and most likely dealt a potentially fatal blow as J.C. Penney, Sears, and Lord & Taylor all would close their doors by the end of the calendar year, leaving Macy's as the sole anchor. So, where do we sit today? Well, it's 2020, and this is another mall that falls into the category of struggling and a future that does not look oh so bright. You are seeing more local tenants and just a gradual decline in traffic. And it's just, I mean, it's just a broken record, guys. You see this time and time and time and time again. These places go into foreclosure and they lose value and they bring in less revenue for the town, and there are debates about what to do with these properties, and they just sit. But at least you have me and my good friend Sal and my good friend Kristen, and of course the OG Mr. Dan Bell himself, and the several other creators. You've got my buddy Paul in Alabama, Georgia. You've got my buddy Zach, a.k.a. Huxley, in California. You've got all these different people across the country, and we are doing the retail lord's work here as we are putting our stamp creatively on these videos and bringing you guys what they look like, so that 20, 50, 100 years, whoever knows how long from now, we will at least have a visual catalog of what happened to our beloved malls that we visit. So that's about it for, really what I have to say here about the property. I love this place. I'm glad that I got to see it, and I imagine that I will be back down here at some place or at some time again. If you want a more detailed explanation of what happened to this property, as I mentioned earlier, my good buddy Sal is very, that's much more his thing to really dive deep and really tell you the full story. I kind of just scratched the surface, so his videos are obviously extremely well produced, so go check his video out if you want some more information on the mall. That's about it for now. I hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving. This video will be put out after Thanksgiving, but I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving as we head into the holiday season, and hopefully a vaccine is on the way, and hopefully brighter times are coming once we get through the winter months. I know that I just want to say one last piece here, that I truly hope all of you are staying safe and well. I know that now is a very difficult time for a lot of folks, and if there is anything that I can do to help, please let me know, and I will be more than happy to help you. I promise you, 2021, brighter days are coming. We are all in this together, myself included, and I hope you and yours have a joyous holiday season. Last but not least, as always, you can check me out on Instagram and Twitter at AcesAdventures1. I post daily pictures and would love to interact with you there. And if you like my work and want to become a Patreon donor, patreon.com/AcesAdventures to help me continue my dead mall journey. Once again, as I just mentioned, I want to reiterate again, have a wonderful, wonderful, and safe, happy holidays, and I will see you all in a few weeks with not only another Dead Mall episode, but I will also be doing a Christmas special as well, because I love Christmas, and even in these challenging times, I want to do something fun and with a holiday spirit. So take care, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.